Well, the way they look at you, they look at you, they look at you like you just fell from heaven and they are falling hard for you. That's what Spirit is saying. Well, so they look at you like you're an angel, or that you were sent from above to their life just for them. The way they look at you, it's the look of love. So this is about a crush or a special someone in your life who looks at you and they genuinely think to themselves like, oh my gosh, where did this person come from? Because there's something about you that is very different. It feels very different from other people. You don't feel ordinary. Okay? They've met other people in the past. They've talked to other people. You know, in the past they've flirted with other people, dated other people, but there's something almost angelic about you. It's your vibe. Your vibe. It's your aura. It's your presence. There is a very particular silence that happens in the human chest when it encounters something it believes is too good for this world. It isn't the silence of emptiness. It is the sudden, breathless quiet of someone who has spent years walking through crowded, noisy, dirty streets and suddenly finds themselves standing inside a sunlit cathedral. Your breathing automatically slows down. You step lightly on the stones. You lower your voice without even realizing you're doing it, not because anyone told you to be quiet, but because you are acutely, painfully aware that the space you are occupying is clean. And you are carrying the dust of everywhere else you've ever been. That is what happens to this person every single time you walk into the room. They don't look at you the way people look at ordinary attractions. They don't scan you with that casual, assessing glance people use when they're weighing their options at a bar or swiping past faces on a screen. When their eyes land on you, their entire posture shifts. The restlessness that usually hums beneath their skin simply evaporates. If they were agitated, the irritation dissolves before it reaches their mouth. If they were exhausted from carrying the dull, repetitive weight of their own life, just looking at the side of your face while you listen to someone talk acts like a cool cloth pressed against a fever. To them, you are not just someone they like. You are a reprieve. You are the only part of their week that doesn't demand a performance. The only presence that doesn't ask them to defend themselves. The only human being whose simple existence makes them feel like the world might actually be capable of producing something pure. They look at your kindness, the effortless, uncalculating way you treat people who have nothing to offer you in return, and they feel an emotion so close to reverence that it borders on prayer. And that is precisely where their torment begins. Because here is the secret that lives in the dark, unvisited corners of their mind. The thought they have never whispered to their closest friend, the thought that makes their ears burn with a sharp, guilty heat whenever they catch themselves having it. They do not just want to worship you. They want to ruin their own composure against your skin. They see the grace. They see the gentle soul, the soft cadence of your voice, the way you carry yourself with that quiet, modest dignity that makes everyone else in the room look like they are shouting for attention. They revere every single piece of that purity. And yet, in the very same breath, a violent, suffocating wave of heat tears through their ribcage whenever they imagine what you look like when the door is locked, the lights are out, and you have finally run out of reasons to be polite. There is a special kind of agony in realizing that the person who brings you the most peace is also the only person who can make your blood feel like gasoline. That contradiction is tearing them apart from the inside out. We are taught by our culture to divide the world into neat, digestible categories. We are told that someone is either sacred or they are tempting. They are either the safe harbor you bring home to meet your family or the dangerous fire that keeps you awake at 2 a.m. We assume that reverence and raw, primal hunger belong in different rooms, in different relationships, on different planets. When this person met you, those two worlds collided with the force of 2 freight trains meeting head-on on a single track. They look at your lips while you are explaining something completely mundane. A project at work, a book you read, a joke you heard yesterday, and while half of their brain is marveling at the sharpness of your intellect and the sweetness of your expression, the other half is consumed by a dark, relentless fixation. They are wondering what your mouth tastes like when you are breathless. They are wondering what kind of sound you make when someone touches the small of your back with just enough pressure to make you lose your balance. They are wondering if that calm, composed, unbroken rhythm of yours can be shattered by a kiss that goes on 3 seconds too long. And the moment those thoughts cross their mind, a wave of cold panic hits them right in the throat. Think about the psychological dilemma they are trapped in. If they treat you with the reverence they feel in their soul, they risk keeping you at a distance forever. They become the polite admirer, the respectful friend, the one who stands on the perimeter of your life, holding a candle while you look right through them, assuming they are entirely safe, entirely harmless, and completely devoid of passion. You probably look at their careful manners and think they don't desire you, entirely blind to the fact that their politeness is the only thing keeping them from losing their absolute mind. Look at how they behave around you look at the tiny physical fractures in their performance. Have you ever watched their hands when you sit down next to them? They don't know what to do with them. They adjust their sleeves. They smooth down their shirt. They pick up a glass, set it down, turn it half an inch to the left, and pick it up again. They touch their own mouth, their own jaw, their own collarbone, not out of vanity, but because their nervous system is trying desperately to discharge the electric current that floods their veins the second you enter their peripheral vision. When you lean in close to show them something on a screen, they stop breathing. They don't do it on purpose. It is an involuntary freeze response. Their entire body locks into place because they know that if they turn their head just 4 inches to the side, their lips will brush your cheek. They can smell the faint, warm trace of your perfume. They can feel the heat radiating off your shoulder. And every single survival instinct they possess is screaming at them to stay completely still, because one unscripted move will reveal everything they have been hiding. They are terrified of becoming the person who breaks the sanctuary. This person has lived long enough to know what the world does to soft things. They know that people take kindness and mistake it for weakness. They know that people encounter grace and immediately look for ways to exploit it, consume it, and leave it empty on the side of the road. They have seen how other people treat you, how they take your generosity for granted, how they expect you to always be the understanding one, the forgiving one, the endless well of patience. They promised themselves they would never be that person to you. They wanted to be the one human being in your orbit who brought you protection instead of demands. They wanted to be the person who looked at your soul and said, "You don't have to carry anything when you are with me." And so, whenever their desire flares up, whenever that dark, possessive, intoxicating hunger rises in their chest, they feel like an intruder in their own intentions. They feel as though their physical longing is an insult to your purity. They worry that if they reach out, if they pull you against them and kiss you the way their body has been begging them to for months, they will destroy the very peace they were trying so desperately to give you. They're trying to protect you from the very thing they cannot stop feeling. And that is why they have become an obsessive student of your microexpressions. Because they cannot simply ask for what they want, they have turned to the only tool left to them: surveillance. They study your face with the desperate, quiet intensity of someone trying to read a message written in invisible ink. When they say something slightly bold, when they tease you with a lower voice or drop a compliment that borders on flirtatious, they don't look away. They watch your eyes. They are looking for the dilation of your pupils. They are looking for the tiny microscopic twitch at the corner of your mouth that tells them you aren't just being polite, that you felt the shift in temperature too. They watch the way you breathe after a pause in the conversation. They notice if your fingers curl into your palm when your eyes meet across a room. They are looking for permission. Not the loud, theatrical permission of someone saying, "Come here." They know you don't operate that way. They are looking for the subtle, unspoken green light. The fraction of a second where your composure slips, where the saint disappears. And the human being standing behind the grace looks back at them with the exact same hunger. The most dangerous fantasy is never about someone's perfection. It is the desperate wish to be the only person who gets to see their darkness. That is the deep, transformative realization that is currently rearranging everything inside their heart. They do not want the version of you that belongs to the world. The world gets your poise. The world gets your patience, your pleasant smile, your well-chosen words, and your reliable kindness. The world gets the curated, digestible masterpiece of who you are. This person wants the unedited manuscript. They want the version of you that only exists when the curtains are drawn and the lock has clicked shut. They want to know what makes you angry. They want to know what makes you petty, what makes you jealous, what makes you laugh so hard you snort and cover your face in embarrassment. They want to hear you swear when you drop a glass. They want to see you with your hair a mess, your defenses down, and your guard completely destroyed by sheer exhaustion. They want the raw, messy, beautiful truth of your humanity. And more than anything else on this earth, they want to be the one who earns the right to hold that private world in their hands without dropping it. Look at how they imagine an intimate future with you. It is not a sequence of shallow cinematic conquests, and it is a slow, thorough exploration. They imagine what it would feel like to undress you, not with the frantic, clumsy haste of someone trying to satisfy an itch, but with the slow, trembling reverence of someone unveiling an altar. They imagine laying their hands on your skin and feeling every muscle in your back. Finally let go of the tension you have been carrying for years. They want to kiss your jaw, your throat, the curve of your neck, not just to make you feel good, but to tell every single cell in your body that it is safe to surrender. They want to watch you lose control. Not because they want power over you, but because they know how heavy your self-control has been. They know how exhausting it is to always be the composed one, the mature one, the person who keeps everything together. They want to create a space so secure, so fiercely protected, and so thick with devotion that you are finally allowed to fall apart completely in someone's arms and know with absolute certainty that you will not be judged for the mess. You have spent an entire lifetime being admired from a distance, never realizing that true love is the courage to come close enough to be burned. That is the threshold they are approaching right now. They are realizing that their fear of overstepping is slowly turning into a form of cowardice. They are seeing that by keeping you in this safe, elevated, untouchable space, they are denying both of you the only thing that actually matters: real, tangible, messy human contact. They can feel the window of time beginning to narrow. They see the way other people look at you. They see other suitors hovering around the edges of your life, trying out their clumsy lines, throwing their casual attention at your feet. Every time they watch someone else talk to you, a cold, territorial fire licks at the base of their spine. They think they don't know who you are. They don't know what it takes to hold you. They just see the light, but they have no idea what keeps the flame burning. The thought of someone else stumbling into your private world, someone who didn't spend the time studying the sacredness of who you are, someone who will handle you carelessly, is the one thing their pride cannot survive. The dam is giving way. You are going to see it happen in the coming days. The polite mask is going to crack in ways they can no longer repair on the fly. You will notice it in the way they look at you when they think you're busy with something else. That heavy, dark, unblinking focus that feels less like friendship and more like a physical weight resting on your skin. You will notice it in the way their voice drops half an octave whenever the two of you are left alone in a hallway or a car. They are going to step closer than they usually do. They are going to hold your gaze for 2 seconds past the point of comfort. They are going to reach out and touch your arm, your hair, the sleeve of your jacket, and they will leave their fingers there just long enough for both of you to hear the silence roaring in the room. When that moment arrives, understand what you are standing in front of. This is not someone who wants to take something from you. This is someone who has spent months learning how to value you so completely that the act of wanting you feels like an overwhelming responsibility. They're going to step across that line, not because they have lost their respect for your grace, but because they have finally realized that your grace was never meant to be kept in a museum. It was meant to be loved fiercely, softly, in the sunlight and in the dark, with the quiet devotion of a worshiper and the untamed fire of someone who would burn the rest of the world down before they let you slip through their fingers. When they reach for you, don't step back into the cathedral. Meet them in the fire, because the saint was only ever half of your story. And it is finally time to let someone love the rest of you. You are not very good at doing nothing. That is the message that God is putting on my heart today. That you are not very good at doing nothing, but it's something that you need to learn how to be okay with. Like, you need to learn how to allow yourself to be supported by the people around you, by the world around you. Allow yourself to be received. Allow yourself to be loved and cared for. I feel like you are somebody who has, for so much of your life, just always felt as if you needed to do everything on your own. You needed to control everything because that was the only way to get something done. That was the only way that you knew that it was going to turn out the way that you wanted to. But here's what is coming through for you, is that I think that you underestimate how much your inner light has grown, how much your power, like how strong you have become in your love, in your light, in the way that you show up in this world, in the way that it is you do what you do. But your presence like amplifies people around you. And the thing that hasn't been making sense to you is the fact that because you recognize that you are worthy of being cared for, worthy of being provided for, and worthy of being like supported and it's just like nourished in so many ways, your energy moves into people around you, and people around you then move towards you with that same energy. Like whatever you feel towards yourself moves into people, and then people come forward to you and offer you that energy. And so this is so insane, because you are somebody who has definitely been, searching for advancements in your career. Like you just know that there is something more for you, like something that you are meant to expand into. And especially when it comes to love and connection and relationship, you have been, really just detached, but hopeful at the same time. And so you are moving into the era of your life where you are ready to watch how the energy that lives within you is amplified and returned to you. And I think that you've been kind of holding it to your chest. You've been keeping it close to your chest, not really letting anyone close to you, or just not really allowing yourself to recognize that the next up levels in your life, like the success that comes in your new and healthy and abundant relationship, the success that comes in your new and thriving and abundant career, is going to happen because you believe in the goodness in people around you. You believe in the fact that it's people that God works through. And that abundance is going to come through people. That love is going to come through people and one very specific person. I feel so much clarity coming in for you, because you are beginning to recognize how powerful your inner light is, how powerful your presence is, how powerful your love is. And I'm just getting like such a strong energy of clarity. Like you've been trying to do it all on your own, and that's just not what this season of your life looks like. That's not what it is for you anymore. Like you've done so well. You've built so much. In fact, you've built like the scaffolding of your life. You've built the internal structure of your life, and now you just have to allow the universe to fill it. You have to allow people to, this is going to be difficult for you. You have to allow people to get close to you again. Because I feel like you are somebody who you'll like allow people to get somewhat close, but then you push them away because that's too close. That's close enough to hurt me, is what's coming through. And so what you're being asked to do next is to allow people close enough to love you. Allow people to show you that they don't mean you harm, and that like they want to give to you. They want to serve you in a way. Like they want to reflect your love back to you. You spent years of your life, you spent lifetimes just pouring your love energy out into this world, out into the universe. But I don't think that you've ever really allowed the universe to pour that love back to you. You've never really allowed yourself to feel it, or like physically have and hold and keep it. Maybe there's some fear there, some fear of not being good enough, or fear of not being able to hold the responsibility that it takes. But my God, you have it. You have everything that you need in order to learn that level of responsibility, in order to learn and recognize that it is safe to be loved, that it is safe to be cared for. You're not doing this next season of your life alone. That's just not what it's going to be. The universe isn't going to allow it. Because you are meant to learn what it is to be loved, what it is to be cared for, what it is to be provided for. You are meant to learn how to open your heart again and calm your mind, like focus your mind and clear your body. Those are like the 3 keys to this next season of your life, I feel like. Opening your heart, calming your mind, and clearing your body. Opening your heart, calming your mind, and clearing your body. You should be able to feel that expansion, even in just the words that I'm saying. This is such a powerful threshold for you. This is a very powerful season of your life because it looks different than other ones. It feels calmer. Like you might find yourself trying to do more and more, trying to reach, trying to grab, like trying to do, but the universe is like, calm down. That's not what this is going to be for you. That's not how you're meant to act. That's not how it's meant to go. You need to learn how to be okay with receiving more and giving less. Receiving more financial bliss and abundance, receiving more love and devotion and commitment because you give less. I think you just underestimate how potent and how powerful your love really is, your presence. And I think that's why, like when you give, like you quite literally bulldoze people over with your love. It's overwhelming because it's so pure and it's so potent. And so you actually just keeping that within yourself and allowing some of it to be shared. Like here's a gift, here's an offering. That is actually your most natural form. That is actually your most natural state of being. And this translates in career, this translates in love, this translates in friendship and relationship. Your presence is worth more gold and jewels and money than you could possibly imagine. And you're allowed to receive that in this next season of your life. You are also allowed to receive the pleasure and the benefit of your love being shared and amplified through a love connection.